It's the 90s Kid Show. Welcome to the 90s. 5 reasons I loved the 90s. Reason number 3. Girls. God damn, there were some hot-ass girls from the 90s. I mean, the girls looked good from the 90s. Like, chicks from the 90s decade, they just look good to me. Particularly because of the fashion that they would wear. I mean, girls from the 90s, they didn't look classy or elegant. You know, they looked more bummy and grungy. And I loved it. A lot of them dressed like guys, for example. Like, they wore a lot of more baggy clothing, but with a feminine twist. Like plaid t-shirts and baggy ripped jeans and the flannel shirt wrapped around their waist. They had the skateboards, gray hoodies, tight white tank tops. Even some of the chicks that were like in more hip-hop look. Hip-hop broads, they kind of had that gangster look. Maybe some with I don't know, what do you call it, a bandana or something like that. Like really baggy pants. And like a tight, sort of like a tank top thing. It just looked so hot. It was sexy. And it was like a nice little look. It didn't look like the trashy chicks of today. Like, I take a look at somebody like Miley. And I just go, ugh. Compared to somebody like just a dancer. Like a video chick from a fucking rap video from the mid-90s. That chick probably has more class in terms of appearance. I mean, even some celebrities kind of look good in a nostalgic way the more I think about it. Like, wow, like she was hot. As far as my memory is, you know, the way I remember her. I used to think, like, Neve Campbell was in her prime back then. She was in the Scream movies, and she kind of had, like, this dark brunette look, and looked good. She was really pale. Toni Braxton was fucking hot, man. God damn, this chick is amazing. Her music was pretty decent, too. And Dina Meyer. Dina Meyer is sexy any time period, but her prime was definitely the 90s. Starship Troopers, she looked great. Love the hair, like that curly fucking look. Chicks from the 90s seem to have that look a lot, with the curly sort of hair. Even the chick from Popular Mechanics for Kids, I think, like, everybody thought she was hot. And of course she would end up becoming more popular. I think in the 2000s she found more mainstream success, but back then, she was just like 15, 16 years old. And we were all like, 10 or 11. I think even somebody like Kirsten Dunst. Yes. Chick who starred in, you know, the Spider-Man films and whatever stuff she starred in the 2000s. But in the 90s, Kirsten Dunst was great. She had like the best movies of her career at the decade. She had Interview with a Vampire and Jumanji. Those were like her best performances, in my opinion. Like, those were her best roles. She was so likable in those movies. She stole the scene in Interview with a Vampire. Great movie too. Jumanji, she was a good supporting character, and she was likable. I think I probably had a crush on Kirsten Dunst too back in the day, in the 90s, because when those films came out, I was around 8 or 9 years old. Maybe, yeah, 7 or 8, I should say. And she gotta be, what, 4 or 5 years older than me? And so, yeah, I mean, 90s chicks they were the bomb, as we used to say. The bomb, yeah, they were just incredibly, they were sexy, but it's sort of like the swag of the 90s, you know. We didn't even use that word. I think it also has a lot to do with just growing up in that era. Being a prepubescent 11 or 12-year-old kid in the 90s was like, okay, I remember the chicks of that era. You know, the girls that I would find attractive, you know, back in the 90s, and the stuff that they would wear, and just the way they looked. That also plays into it. That reminiscent, oh wow, they looked hot back in those days. And that first experience of liking something, developing a thing for that look, that 90s chick look. It was like, whoa, those girls were pretty fucking foxy back in the day. 5 reasons I loved the 90s. Reason number 4.